Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 175 of Dude and a Monkey. My name is Ian Loring, and as always, I am joined by...
Mark Foster. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mark. And today we are going to review the box office dead on arrival thing, Morgan, the directorial debut of Ridley Scott's Son. Which debuted at number 17 in the US box office this week.
Was that on actual full release then in the US?
Just over 2,000 screens.
And it debuted at 17.
Yeah, $1.96 million. You know, we were talking last episode about the worst performing wide releases of all time.
Yeah.
I think we got another.
Fuck. That's wow. I'm genuinely surprised at that.
Yeah, I think it made 180,000 over here this weekend, which is nothing as well, especially for the amount of screens it had. So, yeah, we'll get into it. Luke Scott's directorial debut. We'll also talk some what we've been watching and whatnot. I think Sam Allardyce must be the most relieved person in the world at the moment. Literally, Slovakia, England finished 5 minutes ago. Holy shit! It seemed like England didn't realise they actually had a game to win until the last 15 minutes. Fair play. Last 15 minutes, we're all over Slovakia, but beforehand, bloody hell.
Yes. Yeah. It was well. It's hard to criticise it. It's the first game. I think people, I've seen some reaction. I was half watching it. And I think it's a little bit like, do you know what? England have played like that for about the past 20 years.
It was stunning that it literally, you would have just thought that was Hodgson.
Yeah, it is, but in the same way as you'd have thought it was like a day Sven-Goran Eriksson. You'd have thought it was the same as when McLaren was in charge. That is how England play. They're so tentative and they're so on their heels. And it's right. Wayne Rooney isn't a central midfielder. He's just not. Wayne Rooney is a very good footballer. There's no getting away from it. Wayne Rooney is a very good footballer as a general rule, and I would say that Wayne Rooney could do you a job in pretty much every position on a pitch. If you asked Wayne Rooney after 5 minutes, let's say for Manchester United, let's say after 5 minutes Luke Shaw went down with an injury, there's no left back on the bench, and they went, Wayne, can you fill in at left back for this game? You got left back. He could do a job. He could do a fine job there. But it wouldn't mean that you can now, on FIFA, say, oh, Wayne Rooney can also play left back. He's not a central midfielder because he lacks the ability to know, A, what's going on behind him, and B, he's looking at it as the way a striker would do. He's going, oh, well, if that was me up front, I want the ball played here. It's like, but that's not you up front. That player wants the ball played there, and that player wants the ball played there. And it's all well-intentioned, but it feels like they've gone, Wayne Rooney's our captain, no problem with that. I think he's the sensible choice to be captain. But we've got to play him, but we actually also want to play one up top, and we want that one up top to be Harry Kane. Fair enough. Although, Harry Kane's not scored yet this season.
Yeah.
But then again, the difficulty there is Harry Kane's not scored this season. James Vine doesn't fit into the way that we play. And Sturridge isn't starting for Liverpool. He's scored, but he isn't starting for Liverpool. So it's going to take a little bit of time for Allardyce, I think, to find his feet. But one thing that has to happen, the good thing about Allardyce is he's not going to listen to the media and fan reaction. Whereas Hodgson spent all of his time telling us he wasn't influenced by the media, he didn't listen to fan reaction. He was obsessed with it behind the scenes. Whereas Allardyce won't give a shit. But England fans seem to think that every player should play 9 out of 10 every time they play for England, and that Lallana should be scoring every time he plays, and Dele Alli should be scoring every time he plays, and Kane should be scoring every time he plays, and Henderson should be scoring every time he plays. It don't work like that. That's just not how it works.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think if it's going to be an English manager because of this weird xenophobic thing we seem to have, then I suppose Allardyce is probably the man.
He is not a terrible choice.
It's
what I'll say.
It's not the most inspired choice, but it is what it is. And I suppose in the end of the day, the World Cup exit was probably legitimately traumatic for quite a few of those players. So I don't know, maybe it is just going to take a bit of time, but I think maybe they should have had a friendly as well, because I know Allardyce said he didn't want the players to have to go through a friendly. It was just right, fresh start, let's get into it. But just to, I don't know, kind of warm up, I think would have been together would have been good.
That would have made sense if your first group game wasn't effectively probably your hardest game of the group.
That's a fair point. Yeah. But anyway, that's we're not a football podcast, but
nope.
but yeah. So I don't have any trailers.
I've seen a couple. The trailer for actually, I've seen one. The USS Indianapolis Men of Courage.
Oh, is this Nicolas Cage versus the Shark?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. How is this?
I'll watch it. Is what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it looks good because it doesn't. It looks incredibly serious, and Nick Cage looks weird in it. Like weirder than usual.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of names on the poster, and you go, "Who's that?" But yeah, it finished, and I went, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that one fucking Tuesday evening or something like that,
nice.
or like a Monday morning. That is that type of watch. I'm gonna watch it out of more mild curiosity more than anything else."
Right, Tuesday evening or Monday morning. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, and I saw the Assassin's Creed trailer in the cinema, and yeah, I'm still a little bit unsure. It looks like a little bit like the game, because I couldn't get on with the game. The bits where it's going to be set in the Spanish Inquisition look very good, but it does look like it's going to be let down by the bits that aren't set there.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time in the trailer where there was bits...
Which apparently is most of the film.
Yeah. Even in the trailer, I was looking at that going, I don't want to see that. I don't... The most interesting part of Assassin's Creed is them being assassins in a fucking creed. It is not this. It's not that. That's not interesting. But maybe in the film it will be.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt it.
Yeah, we'll see. If anyone's going to make a video game film work, I'm assuming it would be Michael Fassbender, Marion Cotillard, and Justin Kurzel. I mean, I was a big fan of Macbeth, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, out the first week of January over here, if I remember correctly. So that will do as a post New Year's cinema trip, I think. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about Morgan, which. It seems like not a lot of people went to see, but let's talk about it. Directed by Luke Scott and produced by Ridley Scott. Stars Kate Mara as the most Kate Mara has ever Kate Mara'd. Toby Jones, Anya Taylor-Joy, Paul Giamatti, Michelle Yeoh, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Boyd Holbrook, others. Story. After an incident involving... artificial genetic hybrid thing, Morgan, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, Kate Mara role number 37 goes to investigate what had happened. She is a risk assessor for the company who have basically funded Morgan, and she has to decide whether Morgan is worth keeping alive or not. Not entirely sure what her company does. You find out at the end, but it would have been nice to know why they were doing this in the first place. I don't think it's ever actually explained.
It's not in its entirety, I don't think.
No,
No.
it's like by the end of the film, you get the idea because of spoilers all the time.
Yeah.
The revelation about Kate Mara's character, and that it was almost kind of a test of her. But yeah, so Morgan, it's like Ex Machina, but palpably shitter. Mark, what do you think?
All spoilers all the time, people say. If you have any interest in Morgan and watching Morgan, we cannot talk about it without spoiling it. So we're going to. And we always do anyway because we're all spoilers all the time. Yeah, for a start off, watch Ex Machina. I wasn't as big a fan of it as the majority of people.
No, neither was I.
But it's still a better film. It's so
much better than Morgan. Yeah.
Morgan is. There's some okay bits. There's some really, 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 really bad acting in it that is made worse by a terrible script. Because I don't know whether you picked up on it, Ian. I don't know whether it mentioned it, but did you know that Morgan was special?
Oh, mate, yeah. No, she's definitely special.
Special. Yeah, the
I've got no idea why.
Yeah, the issue this film seems to have, and we'll get more into it, broader into it, I suppose, is throughout the whole thing, it seems to be working, and Luke Scott seems to be working on the fact that he's got this ace up his sleeve. So when it's getting a little bit dour and it's starting to plod and everything like that, and the ending you go, well, that's just a bit generic and it's a bit, what is it? He's going to go, but this! And you go, yeah, we fucking know. Do you know what? We know. Because you really didn't hide it. Almost to the point of where we felt like at some point the film was going to stop and go, have you guessed it yet? Because it is so fucking phoned in that it is. I was staggered. I'd have been more surprised and it'd have gone up a good 2 stars if that hadn't have been the bunny rabbit ears twist. I'd have gone, do you know what, fam? I'm better with that now. This film has gone up in my estimations. I said to Ian, usually I don't give away my feelings about films at all to Ian until we start talking about it on the podcast. But we had a little bit of a back and forth about it on Friday night. And I said to Ian that Paul Giamatti perfectly sums this film up within the film.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti actually, for a start off, Paul Giamatti's character is supposed to arrive when Kate Mara's character does, but he doesn't for personal reasons. Then he turns up and quite literally says, look, can we get on with this because I want to be out of here as soon as possible. Which just feels like Paul Giamatti is not only summing up the past 3 or 4 years of his career, but he's also summing up the feelings towards this film, the film itself, and then that should have been the tagline.
It is a mental, meta feeling moment, which does, because I laughed out loud at that.
I chuckled.
You know, like it just. Just considering the fact that his role is essentially an extended cameo, and like you say, what Giamatti has been doing in recent years, it's like they did purposefully write that for him, and I'm sure they didn't. But
but it feels like they did.
That is mental, and I've just got to say as well. I mean, Kate Mara, like, I knew, you know, she's like another one of these things.
She's a synthetic.
Yeah, you know she is so early on, just because she is that cold.
Yeah.
It just straight away. As soon as she plays with her hair a couple of times in the first 10 minutes or so, And I was like, right, yeah, okay, that's her tick, isn't it? That's her robot tick. She's not a robot, but you know what I mean, like not human, you know. And it just brutal.
And then there are 2 or 3 moments that literally that give it away more. Like Michelle Yeoh saying, "Haven't I met you before?" You're like, "No, I don't think so." You're thinking, "Yeah, you have, because you probably went to some kind of fucking expose about, you know, where they went, look at this, it's our new product. It's the Kate Mara."
Yeah, I mean, and
she's
her reaction when the guy kisses her and she just kind of and it's so not the reaction of anyone ever. Like just the way she wipes it off her lips, it doesn't. And you know Luke Scott's just like, yeah, just do it like no one would actually do it. Like I think, to be fair to Kate Mara, who is not the most wide-ranging actress at the best of times, I think she is being directed to give a bad performance here.
I think she's almost perfect for the role, in the fact that Kate Mara can play a robotic just bitch quite well.
Yeah.
Because that's how she kind of comes across. She comes across as, and she might not be, she may be a lovely person, but in what I've seen her in, which is quite a bit, to be honest, she comes across as the sort of person that whenever she walks into a room, she immediately feels she is the best person in that room, and that she's sick of everybody else having to be in a room with her.
Absolutely. But I mean, it's all just really annoying, because until Paul Giamatti comes into it, I was actually into it. Like, I liked the idea of, you know, Morgan only being 5 years old and essentially having temper tantrums. And you know, and does that act, you know, in the end of the day, she is 5. Should she really be killed based on our understanding of people growing up and reacting to things and our psychology? Like, there's that kind of stuff in there. But then as soon as Paul Giamatti, like, that scene is just ridiculously overblown, and then it all just gets stabby from there on in, and it just so Morgan's not, like, so why is Morgan special then? She's not. She just goes around killing everybody.
Yeah,
great.
That's it.
That's a brilliant revelation. Thank you so much.
I was watching this and you're right. I'm not getting what has made you know, Luke Scott go, this is my first feature film. This is what I'm going to do. There's nothing to kind of cling to. If this had been made before Ex Machina, you could have kind of, and they are different. One's an AI and one's a synthetic. But let's be honest, they're very fucking similar. It does feel a little bit like I'm watching it and I'm going, Ex Machina just did this a little bit better. And all the time you just look at it going, this is boring. I'm wanting it to hurry up and start doing something, but then I kind of think that I already know what it's going to do, and when that happens, it's kind of going to annoy me. So all the way through it, it's just plodding along, and I'm going, he's shit, she's shit, he's shit. Why ain't he doing this? Oh, hang on a minute. She can just climb up the fucking that shaft. Well, I'm sorry. If Morgan was that fucking special, I'm sure she'd have gone, hang on a minute, I can just climb up there, couldn't I? Yeah, okay, I'll go there. You know, who are these people? Why is he there? Why is the guy with the clipboard who talks like that all the time, who seems a little bit special, but I think he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Who greets her, who we're told is in charge of the thing, but then we find out he's not actually in charge of it, because Michelle Yeoh and Toby Jones, who is actually making me, in recent years, is making me go, actually, is he a good actor? Or do I just think that he should be a good actor?
I mean, it's the thing is, it's basically a daytime Fright Fest film, which somehow has a stacked cast.
Well, we know how it's got a stacked cast.
Oh yeah, the Ridley Scott connection, of course. But
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck is Jennifer Jason Leigh doing in this? I mean, she's in what, like maybe 3 scenes, like one in which she gets stabbed in the eye, and then the other where she gets killed, and then there's maybe like one in between where she's in a bed.
Yeah, and you know, because this is the sort of film where Paul Giamatti, Toby Jones, yes, this is the sort of film they would be in. I can see why Kate Mara's gone for it, but Boyd Holbrook, you get the feeling there was a bigger character there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they've gone, no, do you know what? We need to amp this up, and we need to cut your bits out here. And he's just gone, all right. So I literally do nothing in this movie apart from have a gun and make a lasagna. That's it. That's all I do. It just baffled me in the fact that it just didn't seem to make sense all the way through it.
No, yeah. It's I don't know. It seems to want to have things to say, and then
but then he wants to, you know. For instance, you get the bit with where towards the end we've got Boyd Holbrook and Kate Mara are in his car, and he goes, "I know where they're going." So he drives there. They stop behind the car. They get out, and she goes, "No, you've got to stay here." At that point, he should have just gone, just quickly though, do you know where they're going?
Yeah.
No? Right, well, I kind of do. You're just going to venture into the forest, stop, point my rifle into nothingness, and then go, oh shit, I don't actually know where they are, do I? Oh, fuck. I haven't thought this through. I have not thought this through. It just, there's so much utter stupidity in this movie that I was sat there going, right, there was 5 people in my screening when it started. 2 of them left after about 20 minutes. One of them, I'm not kidding, downed about 6 pints because he kept going out and getting a beer. And at one point actually asked me if I wanted a beer. Really? And I thought, kind of do, but no, I'm all right because I don't know if this guy's going to roofie me and I'm going to wake up with the credits going, why am I on the floor and where are my trousers? And a guy behind me who I couldn't even be bothered to turn round to and say, could you please stop fucking vaping because that noise every 15 seconds makes me want to stab you in the neck.
Nice.
I was just like going, oh, this movie's dumb. Why? It just, I get it. You've made essentially a sci-fi film that actually really is underneath it all, kind of like a horror film, to try and make your name. A little bit like, who else did that? There's somebody else who kind of made a sci-fi film that was actually a horror film, and it made them into a huge directing superstar. Who was it? Oh yeah, it was your dad. The only difference is, he made it actually really fucking good.
It's a really, really weird misshot idea, like a film. I mean, it does feel like there's more material, like because it's very, very stripped down, this narrative. It is like they go there, they have a chat with Morgan. It's all a little bit not too sure about that. You get some explanatory stuff about all the characters and their viewpoints. Paul Giamatti comes in, shit goes down, people get killed. You know, I mean, like, and again, I mean, like, Morgan's choice of killing people is quite binary. Like, I in a way, I relate it to Lottie, who will say, like, she likes me or she doesn't like me, but she won't like me and Donna at the same time. It's like a binary thing where, like, if she likes Donna, then she doesn't like me, or the other way around. And, and you know, and it's like that with Morgan. You know, she's just like, as soon as anyone's done anything to slight her, once she does go off the deep end, then that person is fucked. like straight away, even if they are helping her. And so that kind of, again, that childlike chucking all your toys out the pram, except it's not chucking toys out the pram, it's stabbing people. I actually think that, all right, fair enough, that's actually quite a good idea. But there's nothing behind it. It is literally, this person gets offed, this person gets offed, this person gets offed. And then Toby Jones just kills himself.
It becomes a slasher, and then Toby Jones, has anyone seen Toby Jones since this? Did he actually hang himself because he thought, I'm sick of this?
Yeah.
It does feel like Paul Giamatti turned up and gave a really big fuck. I actually like that. Because it was the only bit where I went, I'm liking this. I'm liking Paul Giamatti essentially come in and just be a dick to Morgan.
It's like the world's worst psychiatrist, though. I mean, it's amazing. He's just like...
And nobody said to him, when he says, what's this? Why is there a chair between this? Nobody said, do you know why the chair's there? Because the last time somebody was in a room with her, they got their eye stabbed out. So, no. Because Paul Giamatti seems like the kind of guy who would go... Hey, I don't need that shit. I need both of these because I've got personal stuff to go and see to. What personal stuff? I can't say.
And then Morgan, like, knowing he's got a 13-year-old kid and stuff, it's like, all right, how's that come about? That's random. And then it's never used again.
Yeah, I'm gonna bite your neck off.
I'm just gonna go for the jugular, quite literally. I don't know. It's just
quite literally.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. There's got to be more there, because I will say, I thought it was pretty pacey. Like when I knew it was wrapping up, it was like, fuck me, this is ending.
Mm.
It was like, right, okay, fair enough then, and it is quite lean, but surely there was more there. Surely, I mean, I think it's interesting that like there is like none of the stars are like seeming to be publicising it. Like Fox have just chucked it out on Labor Day weekend and like the start of September in the UK and the US, just basically just like chucking it out there and letting it die. Even though it's a promoted tweet in my Twitter like constantly at the moment.
It is, yeah. There's been a lot of kind of advertisement behind it. I'd say, to be honest, I think they've kind of tried to. They've given it every chance. It's just not a very good film. But also as well, I think the target audience that would usually go for this. The thing is, they're all watching Sausage Party because, in a bizarre way, the core audience that would usually go and see Morgan, it's the same audience as would go and see Sausage Party, to be honest, which sounds weird, but it is. It's that age group between kind of 15, 16 and sort of late 20s to us people, in our early mid-30s. But that is the core group that would usually go and watch this type of film, But they're all watching the Sausage Party. Sausage Party, there was queues and queues of people when I went to see them. I went on Friday evening to see this. And there was queues and queues of people. And I asked and said, when they said, oh, where do you want to sit? And I was like, towards the back on an aisle, if possible. And she sort of looked at me and went, there's like 3 people in there, mate. I was like, oh, what? What's someone here to see? She went, oh, everyone's here to see Sausage Party. It's like, poor fuckers.
Well, I mean, obviously my thoughts on that last week, but
it was given every chance. It quite simply, it's just not a very good film.
Yeah.
Which is a disappointment, really, because you don't like to not see good films, but it's not even one where I can see where there's an interesting thread in it. I just don't. It's ground that's been tread before, and it's boring. It's a little bit like Blade Runner meets Ex Machina, but shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's specifically the second half of the film for me as well. Like the first half is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not. I won't go as far as to say it's good, but it's fine.
And then it just, it really just goes.
Why did you start calling Michelle your mother? It makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Mother, what are they doing? I'm not your mother. Oh, I'm off to go and see Mother. What? Why? Where's that come from?
Yeah.
She literally appears 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like it needs that many people to monitor a synthetic that lives in a weird kind of fucking, essentially, prison dungeon. That actually has a really easy way to fucking get out of.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, just the fucking flashbacky shit with Rose Leslie, and like, I mean, there's a question as well. That character. There's a scene where she and Morgan are talking up against some glass, and it seems like there's a bit of sexual tension. And it is a bit like, right, okay, Rose Leslie, you want to fuck a 5-year-old, do you? That's...
Yeah, and that as well. Creepy. Boyd Holbrook having a talk with Kate Mara. Oh, yeah, you know, we fooled around a little bit when we first got here, you know, because, you know, you're in this, like, well, not really, that, you know, that's kind of not what happens, but I don't think I'm really her type. I think she's, you know, rip. Yeah. Like, there's no need for that at all. You could have just literally said, no, I'm not her type. Yeah. You don't need to basically say, fuck anything, even a 5-year-old.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, it's a bad film. Straight up, it's a bad film.
It's a bad, it is. It is. It's just not, it's not pretty good. It's shit.
Yeah, definitely shit.
Yeah, our poll is 15 votes. Definitely not shit, 13%. Touching cloth, 40%. And shit, 47%.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'll say fair enough on that as well, yeah.
Who was it written by? Seth W. Owen.
Yeah. Guess what? It was one of those Blacklist scripts.
Oh God, was it really?
Yeah, the Blacklist, which can kind of now just sort of can just be referred to. The Blacklist should be like it was on the 2014 Blacklist, which shouldn't. Any Blacklist should be called. For instance, if it's 2004, it's called the 2014 Blacklist: the future 2016 thoroughly underwhelming films list.
Yeah. And last thing on it, the ending scene with Kate Mara doing the hand thing and then looking into the camera.
Oh,
yeah, just no, just stop it.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, it is basically fuck off. Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? It only cost $8 million. It's not going to make its money back.
No, it's not. You know, maybe Luke Scott's got a great film in him, but he's waited a long time. You know, it's not like he's a 22-year-old director or anything like that. The guy's nearly in his 40s.
I mean, it looks all right.
It looks all right. No better.
Yeah.
There's no shot where you go, but you know what? There was a shot that looked really... It just looks all right. The composition's okay. But it does look like a film that would have looked like that if it was made 7 or 8 years ago as well. It looked exactly the same.
That's fair. Even though don't mind. Shit.
Yeah, shit.
Okay, Mark, let's get on to some what else we watched, and I'm hoping you got some better stuff.
I do actually have some stuff. Yeah. I watched Who's Harry Crumb, which is on Netflix UK at the moment. Weirdly, I'd never seen this.
Oh really? Oh,
yeah, I did. And which is crazy because I love John Candy, but it's just one that I've never seen, and it came across and. I was doing that thing where you're flicking through Netflix. And Becky, as I flipped past it, Becky went, I like John Candy. I was like, do you fancy watching that? She's like, should we watch the trailer and let's just see. So we watched the trailer and the trailer opens with the, where he kicks open the door and says, it says, it's Harry, and the door swings back and hits him in the face. And she laughed and she went, that's it, we're watching that.
Nice.
It's Harry Crumb, for anyone who doesn't know, or who's Harry Crumb, John Candy plays Harry Crumb, who is a bumbling private eye who comes from a long line of private investigators, and he's they run this big private eye firm that deal with all these big clients, but he's kind of shipped out to the I think like Oklahoma or somewhere like that to run their office, and then he gets called up to work at head office and do like a big case. But it turns out that Jeffrey Jones has brought him there because he knows how bumbling he is, and he is bumbling, but he also isn't aware of it, and it's essentially just Fletch, but with John Candy.
Sure.
But it's fun, it's funny, it's harmless. There's no malice in it. The jokes are all kind of just nice and situational, and oh god, really. But it works, and it's a thoroughly. There's not a lot to talk about with it, but it's a definite watch, I'd say. And it's under 90 minutes, which all comedy should be. Fuck it, I'll do it now. I watched Gem and the Holograms.
Hey, cool. Okay.
Which I said I was good at. Yeah. I watched Gem and the Holograms. Oh, sweet Christ. Fucking hell. When Ian said last week about Gem and the Holograms, all the music is YouTube videos. I took it on board, but I understood how he was wording it, but I didn't realise that you meant that all of the music is YouTube videos.
Yeah, man.
And they actually show you the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
At one point, Becky turned around to me and said, is this just a big advert for YouTube? I was like, it kind of is, yeah. This is a profoundly stupid movie.
Oh, mate, yeah.
But not in like Who's Harry Crumb is a profoundly stupid movie. Gem and the Holograms is profoundly, ridiculously. What? Do you know? Right. Juliette Lewis doesn't do anything unless she's on some kind of prescription drug that she shouldn't be on. So you get the feeling like when Juliette Lewis wakes up normally, the first thing she does is she opens a big medicine cabinet, fucking doves and stuff flies out of it, and she goes, which psychotropic prescription drug that I'm legally allowed to take for some reason shall I take today? Hello, Oxycontin, let's have you. Right? So I think she understands the movie because of what she's on. And the film is good when she's in it because she's playing some kind of weird supervillain in a movie that shouldn't have a weird supervillain at all. Because that mid-credits thing is just, what?
The mid-credits thing, which I don't think I think I mentioned in passing last week, is one of the greatest mid-credits things you will ever see. Just because we're never going to have the sequel.
No, oh Christ, no. We should never have the sequel.
But it's like the film itself, when Juliette Lewis is not on, it takes itself relatively seriously.
Yes, it does.
In the context of its own world, it takes itself seriously. Then the mid-credits bit where it's like some jettisoned rival girl band are hanging out in some underground car park thing.
Yeah, some abandoned, that looks like either an abandoned underground car park or an abandoned mall. What's that? Do you know what it looks like? You know in Gone Girl, when they go to the mall that's been abandoned to find out, that's where they're hanging out.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean, it's I read yesterday it's the pop star Kesha, who's
it's Kesha,
who's that main one, and I would have liked to have seen that sequel just because how the fuck are they going to marry the self-serious world of Gem and the Holograms and the straight ridiculousness of that mid-credits scene.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I've no idea. I've not a fucking clue. And like you were saying, there's so many bits where you go, yeah, that's a long shot that would still be there. And then you get the big hologrammatic speech from the dad saying, you know, you've become a great... It's like, she might not be. She might be a terrible person who has just also found the clues. You know, and then the sisters, one of the sisters actually says, you know, it's got blah, 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 and it's watertight. I'm looking at it and it's not watertight. There's loads of gaps in it. There's loads of gaps. That thing would have fried the minute they jumped off that pier. And it doesn't. It's so ridiculous. And then Juliette Lewis can't find them after they broke into a building that I'm pretty sure he could have just got into quite easily. They didn't need to break into it, right?
And that is amazing. Like, she's signed by that label.
Yeah.
And she has to break in.
Yeah. And for a start off, when they, because for people, because majority of you not people who are listening are not going to watch Jem and the Holograms, and you're probably sick of us talking about it. But you need to know this, right? Jemmy's wearing some earrings that her dad gave her, and they were the only gift that he ever gave her, it would seem, apart from the other thing that he gave her and all of these other things. And I'm going to come up with some of the stupid bits in this, right? Oh, lose the earrings, they're so 3 years ago, right? Just take them off and put them in your pocket. You don't have to hand them over to somebody who then puts them in a little case and then puts them in a safe. Why? And as soon as you do that, you go, well, they're going to come back, aren't they? That's going to come back because that's an irrational thing to do to some earrings. It makes zero sense. And also, I didn't quite understand the family dynamic at all. No. And it's like, oh, we need the money, you know, we're so short of money. Yet they've got all of this equipment and a garage full of about 10 grand's worth of eBay sales. You look at it going, you've not thought beyond, yeah, but all the music's going to be YouTube videos. It makes me think that John M. Cho is one of those directors where there isn't a good movie in him. There isn't at all. This is it. This is all he's got. And I would think that the last couple of movies have essentially destroyed his career. Yeah, it's utterly ridiculous.
But I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it because I think it'd be harsh to hate it because I just don't see that there's anything to hate about it. But it's a terrible movie, an incredibly terrible movie. I also watched Predator 2 this week. Which is great. And I watched Predator many times, but I've not watched Predator 2 for a long time. And I've been meaning to rewatch it for ages because I've always remembered thinking, I really liked Predator 2. I felt like it got a bad rap, Predator 2. For the simple fact is, the majority of people's problem with Predator 2 is Schwarzenegger isn't in it. And he's replaced by Danny Glover. But Danny Glover's great in it. He's playing a badass cop. But that's Danny Glover playing a badass cop. And he feels a little bit like it shouldn't work, him being a badass, because he still moves in that kind of uncomfortable Danny Glover kind of way. And he still speaks like he's desperately trying to plead for somebody to give him one last chance. But he's not. He's giving Bill Paxton shit or giving other people shit. It's got Gary Busey in it, which is always fantastic. It's so much fun. Really, it's Predator 2. That's the thing about it. It was a perfect... I started watching it at 11 o'clock last night, and that's a perfect time to start watching Predator 2 with a couple of beers at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Yes, that's spot on.
It is. It's just so much fun. It's so over the top, but the story makes sense. It isn't ridiculous. It looks good. The acting's all good in it. Bill Paxton's Bill Paxton in it. Gary Busey doesn't quite get to go full Busey in it, which I was a little bit disappointed. But, you know, he's still Gary Busey in it. He's wearing a ridiculous suit for some reason. And Danny Glover keeps changing his shirt because he's sweating too much.
Yep.
It's fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the idea of them, like the kind of like the urban warfare and kind of thinking it's just like a rival gang trying to kill another gang and stuff like that. Like I like how it gets to the Predator in that way. I mean, it's been a while, but I have no problems with Predator 2. The ending's pretty badass as well, to be fair.
Yes. Yeah, there's some great moments because a lot of people see the Predator, but don't actually see it because it's camouflage, but see it, but you don't get the, did you see that? It moved, and they're going, no, you're crazy. They all see it. I also like the fact that within the first 5 minutes, it shows you that Danny Glover has a weakness in the fact that he's scared of heights without actually ever telling you that he's scared of heights, because he runs up and he's kind of looking and he keeps saying to people, could somebody get me down off here? But he doesn't like freeze and go, oh, and you get the sub-vertigo bit. He doesn't like heights. That's it. So, final thing I want to talk about is I watched Criminal Activities, the Jackie Earle Haley. I think it's his directorial debut, I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
I think. Let me just double check that before I actually start talking about it and say that it is his directorial debut, because it might not be. Let's have a look. It is, yes, his first film he's directed. And it's got a decent cast of character actors. And John Travolta. You know, you've got Michael Pitt's in there, Dan Stevens is in there, Jackie Earle Haley himself is in there as well. You've got at the start. It starts with a guy essentially walking in front of a bus. And then we flash to the funeral, where Michael Pitt is there, and they end up in a bar, him and like two old friends from school, so there's three of them, and then Dan Stevens kind of turns up, and it's quickly established that Dan Stevens plays the kid that the other three used to pick on at school, and one of the guys turns around and tells them, he's working as a security guard at some big company, and says, I've got a tip off that they've had a breakthrough at this chemical sort of drug company, and Michael Pitt happens to be a stock trader, and says, we could make a bit of money on this, but we need a lot of money to put into it to actually make money. Dan Stevens turned around and says, well, I can get you the 200,000. And they all think it's because his dad died and his dad was rich. Turns out he didn't get the money from that. He borrowed it from John Travolta, who is a local mobster. When the tip-off turns out to not be a tip-off at all, and it not all be what it seems, John Travolta gathers them all together to inform them that they owe him $400,000, not $200,000, because he's adding $200,000 interest, but they can make it back instead of actually paying the money back, which they clearly can't afford. He says he's going to be reasonable and tells them that if they kidnap this certain guy and hold him for 24 hours until he needs him, then the debt's called off. So they kidnap this guy, and then it turns out that all is not what it actually seems. I'm not going to give it away because I know we are all spoilers all the time, but this is quite a new film and it's not our feature review. It's 95 minutes long. It's not as serious as you think it's going to be. It's not like goofy or anything like that, but there are some kind of moments of fun kind of levity in it. Like, for instance, the guy that they kidnap keeps taking the piss out of them for being terrible kidnappers. And Jackie Earle Haley plays one of John Travolta's henchmen. and they're going around just sort of doing stuff, and he's really just quite deadpan and quite Jackie O'Hale's character, just kind of like walks along and keeps cracking jokes and stuff like that. And John Travolta's very good in this. If you can get away from the fact that his hair looks a little bit like that fitness guy from Lazy Town, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And it really does look like that. It looks like it's plastic. And you watch it going, it's fucking freaky. John Travolta's face is freaking me out. But he's very John Travolta-y in it. The thing about John Travolta is we all know that he's a creepy weirdo with a plastic face and fake hair. But every so often, he kind of reminds us that he can also be incredibly charismatic when he's not being creepy and sort of sneaking up behind fucking females on red carpets to prove absolutely that he's not gay. Dan Stevens is very good in it. Very good in it, actually. He steals it, to be honest, which isn't that hard to steal because they're good character actors, but they're not fantastic. Michael Pitt plays stock Michael Pitt character, but he's quite good at it. But it's if it was 10 minutes longer, it'd all fall apart. But the fact that it's 95 minutes, it keeps it pacey and interesting enough for you to go, yeah. Again, similar to Morgan, you work out what's going on about halfway through. You go, so, that's that and that. Fair enough. Yeah. Do you know what? That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to why. Because you work out who's who, but you kind of don't know why and how. And then you start to piece it together, and then it shows you it. But I don't think it's showing you it in a... It's more showing you in a, have you guessed it yet? Have you guessed it yet? You have, haven't you? Here you go. Whereas Morgan kind of goes, boom! And you're like, yeah, we know. This is a little bit more, what is it? Which is weird because this is a straight to VOD, bang, it's on Netflix film. And Morgan was on the side of fucking buses and had a PR budget. This didn't. But yeah, it's fun. It's a mild recommend.
Nice. Okay.
It's a midweek watch, is what I'd say. So go on then, Ian. What have you been watching this week?
Well, one I'm gonna, talking about this with you on WhatsApp yesterday. I watched Cell, which you talked about on the show a little while back.
Yeah.
And you weren't that impressed with it.
No.
I'm not going to say it's film of the year by any means, but I had a decent time with it. More from an atmosphere point of view, more than anything, where I thought it was impressively, unrelentingly grim.
Which is true.
Like I like the fact that within 10 minutes, bang, the pulse is out there and people are turning.
It doesn't. It has no build. It literally goes. The entire film is that.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I like that about it.
Yeah. It gets more depressing from there, and I genuinely got a bit weirded out by it at points. I thought there's some imagery in it that I'm not going to forget in a hurry. Not because it's gory per se or anything, but just because it's really like off kilter. And I like the idea of how the phoners, as they're called in this, how they evolve and how like the transmission of the virus changes. I thought was actually a really interesting idea. I mean, John Cusack is not great.
No.
Which is fair to say, I think. And Samuel L. Jackson is, I kind of miscast, I think, to be honest, because it's a very quiet, reserved performance for most of it.
If this was a film with a if this was a bigger film, if this was a film that wasn't destined to go VOD and it was a bigger film, I think Samuel Jackson would have been quite well cast. But it's not. This was always. If he wasn't playing off John Cusack, it'd be a better casting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fair. But yeah, no. The world of it, I didn't enjoy my time there, but because it weirded me out. And again, body horror type stuff is stuff that naturally gets to me anyway. So, 28 Days Later, I don't like the experience of watching that film. Or 28 Weeks Later as well. Like, the whole kind of, like, you get this virus, 20 seconds later, that's it, you're done, and you're murdering your family. That kind of stuff just, it freaks me out. So, there is, maybe I'm more predisposed to it than you would be. Also, the ending is not great. I was talking to Donna because she read the book.
Bex read the book.
Yeah, and the ending is rather different. Yeah. They try and go for something. It feels like it's trying to be clever when it's really, really not.
Yeah.
But but again, like the last 10-15 minutes or so is. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Cell, just for 30 seconds or so. I like the way that the last 10-15 minutes is basically John Cusack basically pretty much knowing he's going to his death and just being like, right, this is my thing. I like the whole collective subconscious thing. I've actually made things worse here. And I like that. I like that idea. I think the atmosphere is very well done. If everything else is unexceptional, but the sheer experience of watching it made my skin crawl in moments. I think it's kind of mission accomplished, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the good thing about horror. Is horror will always push different buttons for different people. It's like comedy. They are two kind of very similar things in terms of if it doesn't push your buttons, you won't get on with it. But if it does push your buttons, you will get on with it. And that's it. It didn't push my buttons, but it did push your buttons. So instantly, you're going to have a better time than me.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I personally, I'd say give it a chance. It's very low budget. And it feels it. Like the big outbreak thing at the start basically takes place in a small section of an airport departure lounge, which is weird. And there's, apart from the moments where there has to be phoners about, there's never anybody about. I mean, it's weird. It's like these cities are deserted, and it's like, but they wouldn't be. Even if there's just bodies all over the place, it wouldn't be. It was an acceptably creepy time for me, but not a film I'm ever going to go back and watch again. So there you go. So there's that. I also watched Eye in the Sky.
All right, yeah, I'm interested to somebody talk about this.
Yeah, so this is Gavin Hood, who hasn't really directed anything successful in a while, and even though I liked his last film, Ender's Game, and this is not bad. Story: there is a mission going on in Somalia. Where a group of terrorists, including a British national, are holed up in a house. Helen Mirren plays the general in kind of in charge of the operation. Alan Rickman plays her superior, who is in a Cobra meeting. Cobra being the UK government's special military council, I suppose, that convene for emergency sessions. And Mirren is basically trying to get permission to strike, but various conversations are had because of things that happen during the course of them being in this house. And, you know, do they actually know there are people in there? And then somebody else comes along and it kind of changes the game. And Aaron Paul plays a drone pilot who has misgivings about certain things himself, and his debates cause issues. So it's very, very talky, but it's and I mean it is very serious subject matter, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's hectoring. It feels like it's trying to be a thriller first off, and then is making points about the real world second, which I think films these days could do well to remember, frankly. Like, first off, you know, give your audience a good time, and then if you've got things to say, then awesome. And this film does that. It is tense. I mean, next to something like Fail Safe, it's not, but next to 90% of mainstream thrillers these days, it's agreeably tense. It's got some dark comedy to it. There's a running joke about having to pass things up the chain for to get authority from somebody else, and where that ends, and the reaction of that of the person it kind of ends with is actually pretty funny, and it's a very American reaction, I'll just say. So yeah, I mean the cast are all good. Alan Rickman is very good. I think it was his final on-screen role.
It was, yeah.
Which is really sad because he is very, very good in this. Like he is very much I want to strike, but he's not coming from I just want to see loads of explosions like gung ho kind of guy. He argues his point very well, and I think she might be the Prime Minister, but I'm not entirely sure. She's like the Deputy Prime Minister or something. But there's this woman there who is very like, this is disgusting, I'm not having any of this. And a conversation that Rickman has with her at the end is great and really cutting. And it shows how everybody has their own reasons for wanting to do what they're doing, and none of them come from a place of like a personal development or, you know, wanting to just get a promotion or something like that. It's all very human things here, whether it be being unsure about taking a course of action because it might lead to the death of an innocent, to I've been working on this case for 2 years now, I need to get this done because otherwise I'm going to go mad. You know, so it takes these personal perspectives and doesn't really fully judge anybody. It's very, very clever in how it walks that tightrope. Like no one's a bad guy apart from the terrorists here, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. So yeah, it's a pretty thorough recommend. Like Money Monster, I think it's a very, very, very good one watch. And is a film made for adults with intelligence, and it's done pretty well as well, which is good to see.
It has, yeah. I've seen some good reports about it, to be honest, and you back that up as well. So yeah, I'll be getting to it a little bit quicker than I might have.
Yeah, no, it's really, really worth your time. I think it's only about 100 minutes long as well, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. But yeah, solid. And a few other things. A couple other things. I rewatched the Lego Movie, which looks very nice in 4K, and I watched Batman vs Superman again.
Again. How many times have you watched that this year then?
3,
actually 3rd. It ain't even been like that long, has it?
No. It's in 4K, and yeah, I mean it's not a good film, but I think Ben Affleck's really good in it, and some of the action is really solid, and I think it looks good, you know.
So where are you? Because you thought it was Bobbins at first, on first watch, but you could see that there was bits in it that were all right, but overall it was a letdown. And then when you watched the extended, you didn't watch the extended cut, did you, on 4K? Did you? Yeah. Wow. And the extended cut you actually thought was worse because it added nothing. Where are you now? Are you better than you were when you watched? Do you think is it gone up in your estimations from the extended cut after you watched that, or has it gone further down?
It's gone up from that, but I will say I was pretty drunk when I watched it that second time round, which I think did not help.
Right.
I think that did exacerbate things. But yeah, I mean, it still makes me laugh that Jenna Malone actually gets her name in the opening credits in this cut, because she is maybe on screen for 25 seconds. It's really, really weird. But yeah, it looks really nice in 4K. You know, it's not very good. I haven't made my peace with it because it is rubbish, but I'm not as aggressively hectoring about it as I was, I would say. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I think that is it. Pretty sure that's it. Pretty sure that's it. Yeah, that's it. There we go. We've got no emails, but I know we've got some Twitter questions. Do you have them?
I do have them, yeah. So Marcus Zizu at Team Zizu on Twitter says, what 3 things would you do in a 24-hour UK purge? Would you be a batten down the hatches, or would you be a purger?
No, I'd be a batten down the hatches, to be honest with you, because, like, Jesus Christ, if there was just somebody who just fancied going around killing people, I'd be fucked. And I think it would be more a case of, like, trying to protect my family, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. If I had to pick 3 things, if you were saying to me, look, you're a purger, just
you've got to be a purger, yeah.
Then I would rob a bank.
I would say there, though, all crimes legal, right, for that one day, right, I will guarantee you it will be virtually impossible to rob a bank.
Oh, just because it would literally be...
They will literally... It will be... They will spend on obscene... I'll guarantee you that banks are closed the week before and the week after purge to get all of the money out of them.
Yeah, do you know what? No, I don't think I'd do anything. I'm sorry, I know that's a really boring answer, but I you know, what? Like, what crime would you actually want to do?
Well, I'm a terrible person, I've got some...
Go on.
There'd be a few people that I would happily kill. I'm not going to name them, the name reasons why. There are a few people I would happily kill, people who've wronged me in ways. So I'm counting that as one. Murder, there's one.
Okay.
2. I mean, I don't know. Murder would be. I'd do that. 1. What would be the next one? I don't think I could do 3. 3 seems like a lot of work to do in one night's purge. But yeah, there are people that I would happily fucking kill. And I think I could live with the thing, the fucking guilt or anything like that. I think I'd be cool with that. Also, which I do, to somebody that I didn't quite want to kill, but I didn't like, I'd break into their house and do essentially the purge 1, and at the end of it go, not kill them, but go, we've learned a fucking lesson here, haven't you? Because I'm not going to kill you, but I could have, you dick. And then leave. Right now, it'll probably be the woman who blocked me in at Tesco car park this morning.
Oh, that's not cool.
That's who it would be. Blocked me in, and when I went into Tesco and said to her, because I've got a mini Tesco around the corner from me, excuse me, you've got the, what is it, the blue Focus out there? Yeah. Could you move it because you've actually blocked me in? I can't get out. I'll be 2 minutes. I didn't need to be anywhere. Fair enough. be 2 minutes. So I'm sat there 5 minutes later, and this is a mini Tesco. It's not Tesco, it's a mini Tesco. 5 minutes later, I'm looking at Arch going, it's been like 5 fucking minutes. I'm into the third song on the fucking radio. So I went in, and she's having a conversation with one of the checkout girls. I was like, excuse me, right, I've been nice, but can you move your fucking car now? This is a bit stupid. She says, I realised then that she's not actually having a conversation with the girl behind the counter. She's having a go at the girl behind the counter because the machine has charged her a little bit more for her bananas than it's supposed to have. So she comes out, moves the car, and then I move out, and then there's 2 entrances to the Tesco near me. She goes out of one, I go out of the other. I'm about to pull out, and she fucking cuts me off.
Wow.
It's like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, she's not a fan of you, is she?
Right? Oh, it gets worse. So, I turn out, right? She turns down the next road, right? And stops outside the house, gets out, and goes in the house, right? When I say the next road, I am confident, right, that any of our listeners, no matter how terrible a throw of a tennis ball they are, could throw a tennis ball from where she parked her car to the car park of Tesco. So she blocked me in for over 5 minutes, cut me off, and it would have been fucking easier for her to walk to the Tesco.
Was she a big lady?
Nope, not even that big. Wow. So, yes. In fact, the more I think about it, yes, I would kill her because she wronged me. And that was... Yes, you can wrong people in worse ways. I'm the sort of person where there shouldn't be a purge, actually. These are the reasons why there shouldn't be a fucking purge, because of people like me. Because I accept the fact that murdering this woman because it's legal is an overreaction. In the same way as I'm thinking, do you know who else I'd murder? The manager of the local McDonald's, because I don't like him.
Okay.
Yes, he's wronged me as well in a totally over the top way to murder McPurgeon, but I just don't like him. So yeah, so that's it. Yeah, the reason why the purge wouldn't work is because there's people like me out there who get way too wound up about things. Fucking piece of... Actually, I haven't been in that McDonald's after I had an incident with him when he gave me my after I'd previously had a disagreement with him about something to do with a coffee, where the coffee machine was beeping, and instead of getting the fucking coffee for me, he was barking at one of the girls who worked there that seemed to be doing 5 jobs at once. So I went up to him and said, do you know what? You could go and get it, because you're not doing anything. Why don't you go and get the coffee? Because I'm waiting for my coffee, and you could fucking go and get it. So I disliked him for that, and then the next time we're in, he did that thing where he was overly nice to me.
Okay.
But I was having a really bad day, and he gave me my coffee and my McDonald's breakfast, which I'm in there getting a McDonald's breakfast. I'm clearly not the sort of person that you should try and have any kind of contact with, because it's 8 o'clock on a fucking Tuesday morning and I'm getting a McDonald's breakfast. And he gave me, and he smiled, and he went, there you go, have a nice day. And I snatched it off him and looked at him. And then before I could catch in my brain what I said, I'd said it. And immediately after I thought, that was dark. That was unnecessarily dark. And I said to him, and I swear to God, this is what I said. I said, don't you fucking smile at me. There's no joy in this transaction. As I snatched the coffee and the lights off him and walked out, I thought, Christ, that was dark. And at that moment, I realised that I was in a bad mood.
Yeah, obviously, man. Don't smile at me. There's no joy in this transaction.
Yes. So our next question. Steve Dixon at the Great SD. If you had to punish each other with a 4-film marathon, which films would you give each other? Wow, that's a good one. Well, one of mine actually would be would start with obviously Grown Ups, followed by Grown Ups 2. What else would be in there? Oh, I'm trying to think. Videodrome, because I know you like the film, but you hate body horror, so it'd freak you out. And I finish it off with Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, because I guarantee you that film's fucking hideous.
That's fair. I
Oh,
would
God.
program the films of Apachatpong Weerasethakul for you. Because so it's the director of Uncle Boonmee who can recall his past lives. As I'm fairly sure you would pull your fucking hair out.
Yeah, I think that would drive me a little bit fucking mad.
Even though saying that, he co-directed a film called The Adventures of Iron Pussy.
Oh, well, that's getting
A
watched.
transvestite secret agent is sent on a mission to the Thai countryside. Well, you're not watching that.
The Adventures of Iron Pussy.
Oh, okay, here we go. Syndromes and a Century, a story about the director's parents who were both doctors and the director's memories about growing up in that environment.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Uncle Boonmee can recall his past lives. Nope, you're not watching that one. What's Tropical Malady? A romance between a soldier and a country boy wrapped around a Thai folk tale involving a shaman with shape-shifting abilities. Yeah, you can watch that.
Fucking hell.
Blissfully Yours, the story of a love affair that begins during a picnic on the Thai-Burmese border. Yeah, you can watch that.
I'm swapping out Videodrome on yours. I've just realised the other three films have Kevin James in them, so I've got to give you another Kevin James film.
Alright, what are you going to give me?
Well, you've got Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2, which will be films. Fuck it, they'll be films 3 and 4, but it will start with. Oh, it will start with I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, and then we'll move on to The Zookeeper, and then it'll be Grown Ups followed by Grown Ups 2.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The last one will be Cemetery of Splendor. A group of soldiers in a small town on the Mekong River in northern Thailand are stuck with a bizarre sleeping illness.
These do not sound like fun. Based on the films that I've seen of this man, which is one, these do not sound like I'm going to enjoy them.
Yeah, no, yeah. The Apachatpong Weerasethakul marathon would be yours.
Thank you. The Ginger Prince TGP 73. You have to remake Stir Crazy. Who takes the Wilder role and who takes the Pryor role?
What are we talking, like today actors?
I would say so, yeah. Oh, that's a good question, that. I hadn't seen this in a long time. I remember watching it quite a lot. Ooh. Who would be fun as this? Gene Wilder, who can I go for? Can I cast Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling in it?
Yes, you can. That's a marvelous.
That's what I'm going for. I'm going to go for Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling. And I'm going to go... Reynolds is Gene Wilder and Gosling is Richard Pryor.
I'm going to second that. Do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
I think that would be thoroughly entertaining.
Do that. Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to watch Stir Crazy again this week, actually.
Nice.
Because just remembering little bits about it is kind of making me chuckle.
It's not a bad show.
Yeah, so I think I watch that this week. Cool. Right, yeah. That's it for our questions.
Cool, man. Okay, so slightly shorter show again this week, but never mind. So coming up next week, Don't Breathe, is it?
No, it'll be Hello High Water, isn't it?
Fuck, is that out next week? Okay, yeah, I suppose it
I'm
will be
pretty sure
Hello
it
High
is, yeah.
Water. Okay, Hello High Water. I'm seeing. I'm going. Odeon are doing a Scream Unseen thing on Friday night, where it's a new horror film, but I don't know what it is.
Blair Witch.
I'm assuming so, but I think it might be that The Girl with All the Gifts as well.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
that's
it
out
could
the
be that.
week after. Um,
Yeah.
that I've heard really, really good things about The Girl with All the Gifts.
Yeah, I've heard it is shit trailer, great
Yeah,
film.
yeah. So I'm okay. I'm hoping it's Blair Witch, to be honest, just because I'm away the week after when it actually comes out, and I quite want to watch Blair Witch before it gets spoilt for me. So I'm gunning for Blair Witch, but if it's if it's The Girl with All the Gifts, that'll do as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it next week, maybe. But yeah, okay. So Hell or High Water, shit. Yeah, cool.
Which is essentially getting as very quickly built up a lot of buzz, as in a few people I've spoken to about it have said, I'm not telling you anything about it other than the three of them that have seen it have all said the same thing to me, and it's been at different times, have said it's special.
Cool, great.
So I'm very much looking forward to that.
I might try and see Don't Breathe as well though, because I am.
I to be honest, might try and see Don't Breathe actually as well.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, okay.
We share the double review.
Maybe, yeah, no, we'll see. So, but yeah, definitely Hell or High Water. That sounds good. Okay, so that's going to do it for this week. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Obviously, no football predictions this week because,
No.
It's an international week, so wouldn't have happened anyway. So yeah, that's going to do it. At Dude and the Monkey, at Ian Loring, at DudeFoz, and DudeTheMonkey.com, and DudeTheMonkey@gmail.com, even though I think I already said that. I probably did. Right, that's it. We're out.
Bye.